story begins here, in the Dordogne in southern France. 20,000 years ago, it all looked quite different. Covered in ice and snow, the haunt of woolly mammoths and reindeer, which were hunted by our small, hairy ancestors. Primitive? Yes. But here, somewhere underneath my feet, is the proof that they were like us in all the ways that really matter. With only their flickering lamps to guide them, the cavemen felt their way down into the earth. When the prehistoric artists came to Lascaux, the caves were impenetrably dark. These great images were not made to be seen, still less to be sight-seen. Why did they paint them here in the depth of the earth down winding corridors? Some people thought that they were priest painters making hunting magic for the tribe. But the animal the tribe lived on, using every part of it, a kind of walking supermarket, was the reindeer. And they don't paint reindeer. What they paint are the great bulls and bison and the wild deer, all the animals they didn't hunt, but they watched them. Take my favorite image, the great horse, the Mongolian horse. The Mongolian horse doesn't really look like that, with that great sway of the belly and that sharp nose and the inspired black calligraphy of the legs. It's, dare I say it, an impressionistic horse, an impression of a horse, and yet an odd impression. Almost as if the artist was not trying to show what a horse was like, but what it felt to be a horse. Or look at the great bison. These two great black balls of male erotic fury going to explode on one another. He's looked, the artist. He's seen that one of them is losing his coat because it's spring, the rutting season. Observation, and yet emotionally, how right. That great red streak shows something of the feeling of the animal. And it's this looking with awe and with wonder that makes Lascaux what it is. Because all these animals are beautiful. And centuries ago, when there was room on earth for all of us, how humankind must have yearned to be strong and beautiful, free, innocent, all the things that they were not.
Hello. How's it going? Hey everybody. Feels a little weird. Hello? It's not my friend. These chat boxes, they always like. They always go wily. coins that I just got. Nope. This is spam. Sapling! Oh my goodness. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Sapling. I did get a haircut. Do you not recognize me without my long hair? Isn't it fancy? Was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Truly a great opening line. How's it going, Sam? What you got in the burner? What have you got in the burner today? Exactly. Of course, that is the famous opening line to Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. One of the most famous opening lines in the English language. The others call me Ishmael and truly, call me Ishmael and welcome to readers to the Star Trek V novelization. What you been up to lately, Sap? Play any more pranks on your teachers? What game are you playing? You playing Bed Wars or are you playing Dead Wars? Are you playing any D&D? Let's see. Isn't there a mod? I don't know. I'll never talk to it again. That's for a modern setting. I did a little bit. I tried to do it a little bit, but it was hard. Good seeing you, Danger. Okay. I'm just looking for something private, and I don't want to expose it to other people. How's it going, Danger? Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. Cool. Yeah, we've got some nationalistic warring going on right there at the moment. Ah, the most important country in the world. Hi, Miss Missile. How's it going? Oh, right now I'm kind of just working out an idea that that's been rattling in my brain forever. I don't know, and I don't know if I want to make it like a full like book or like maybe just like a D&D campaign or something. But it's been in my head, my idea for like months, and I don't really have any other major things at the moment. So I figured why not start working on it? I'm thank you for stopping by. And oh my god, thank you for the follow. There are supposed to be alerts for that, but I'm not seeing any. Huh. I don't know why that isn't happening. I'll have to fix that. We're one away from some. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. I don't know what I'm doing with this idea at the moment, so I'm just writing out some like some stuff. You know, I'm just writing out some ideas for it, but maybe it might turn into something. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What type of tell me about your book. Exactly, exactly. That's what I'm on. Good way to start. Good way to start. What's it about? All good genres, all perfect genres. Can you reveal any more, or is it under lockdown? Quick, Missile, who committed the murder? And does the central couple in the end get together? That's awesome. I would say it's definitely my passion too. You know, the thing is, when writing works, it works really, it's awesome. Do they not get together? Oh no! That's wonderful. Did you release it already, or are you working on rewrites at the moment? I can imagine. All that stuff is a struggle. Oh, I have so many ideas for stories. I have this big, huge project I'm working on, but I'm a little bit blocked on that, so I always like to call these affair projects. I always like to call these like affair projects, because it's like, you know, it's not your main thing you're working on, but it's a little like fun, you know, I got that from a friend of mine. You know, it's something, you know, when you don't have like, yeah. So this little project I'm working on right now, I don't know if I'll pursue it, but it's an idea I've liked for a while. I call it it's a fantasy idea. Do you like fantasy? I assume most people like fantasy. The side chick, exactly. Well, this one right now it's about I don't really have characters yet, just kind of more of a premise and a setting. It's about I assume everybody does. So it takes place in modern day, but it's an urban fantasy that takes place in modern day, and it's about this app that this app is released, and it's a lot like Uber or DoorDash or Postmates, in that you sign up for it, and you do odd job. You'll do a job for people around town. But the only difference between all those is this one, you fight monsters, and go on, and you get assigned quests to go on. is the basic idea. So I'm just working out exactly. And then my main project, right? It's a pretty exactly. Yeah. Whenever I tell people this idea, people are always like, yeah, that's a really good idea, and I'm like, yeah. So it's an idea I've had for a while. Where pretty much. So I was just, I thought it might be. I also thought it might work well as like a tabletop, like a D&D game. Yeah. No, but I appreciate it. The thing is, everybody, ideas are cheap, or maybe not cheap, but. Let's see. Let's go to the deep beyond. Yeah. Exactly. Well, that was kind of the basic idea. I was trying to think, like, how I could apply, like, traditional fantasy tropes to a more modern day setting, you know? And so I thought that would be kind of like an interest, like, and and then my main idea, it's a pretty good idea though, isn't it? Yeah. I've been thinking about this idea for a while. I think it is pretty good. Let's see, average party level, manage characters. See, that's the thing. I'm trying to think of like people I've actually met who who've like done like who do like this sort of thing, and think about kind of what they're like, you know. Yeah. I do too. Because I've met a lot of interesting people using these apps, and probably pretty soon going to work for one of these apps in a little bit. So fun story, just personal life side. I'm now taking lessons to get my driver's license. I'm nearly 30. I've never had one before, but I kind of need one now. So, and I'm probably going to start doing some Postmates stuff. Yeah, so, I don't know. Like, exactly, the question is, who exactly, would be part of would sign up for things like this? Because I think it would not, thank you. Yeah, I had some change in life circumstances as of recent, and it's become very apparent that I'm going to need a license pretty soon. There was some sad stuff, but there's also good news in that I got a job, but it's going to require me to drive places, so can't really rely on like Lyft or something. So I'm trying to think of like people you meet doing these sorts of things. Let's see. I met one guy. He was an older guy, Um, it's my father passed away, unfortunately. And it really sucked, but and there's been a lot of a lot of readjustments and stuff. And one of the things I realize I really need is my license. So, yeah, I'm going to. There's a place here that you can just that they'll train and test you. So that's going to be that. I met one guy once. He was in. Thank you. Let's think of potential characters. Yeah, it was very bad. Thank you, Danger. Yeah, well, I gotta do the 6 hour course first. And then my other story, if you want to hear about it briefly, Missile. The big one that I've been working on for like 2 years at this point is a urban fantasy romantic comedy. So it's about a guy and a girl. Guy meets girl. Girl gets murdered by a werewolf. Girl comes back as ghost. Guy and girl plot to break into the underworld to save her. Is musical allowed? Musical allowed on my end, so that must mean it's really loud on your end. Let's see. I met somebody who I met. Thank you for picking up on that, because it's based on Orpheus and Eurydice. I based it on the Orpheus and Eurydice myth. Yeah, it just turned out I liked the girl and the guy's relationship too much to just keep her in the underworld for most of the story. So I decided to just have her be a ghost and hang around. Have you ever played D&D, by the way? I want evil character. I want evil monsters. Ah, yeah. Well, it's fun. Um, Um, so tell me about yourself, Missile. What type of people do you read? Who are some of your favorite writers? Oh, Brandy Sandy. I know Brandy Sandy. That's the name. I've actually never read his books. That's what I hear. Uh, yes, I am very aware of the Mistborn series. It's just one of those things where it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like it's on your list of things to read, but it just, it's just like, I have a million. Yeah, it's just I have like a million things I've been meaning to read. Still haven't finished all the like one of my New Year's pledges was to finish finally finish the six Frank Herbert Dune books, and I barely got started on that. Is it good? I actually truthfully, what interests me more is the sequel series he did called Wax and Wayne. That one looks really cool to me. That's good. I That's awesome. Like I've always been interested in like the idea of a Wild West fantasy. I don't know if you can tell about me, but I like fantasy, but I also get really interested when they move it into like newer like different styles. Ooh, tell me of Skyward. Yeah. I do. It's fantasy sci-fi. I like that idea. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. What was I doing? Oh, right. Yes, I wanted to send a private message. Private message to people. Isn't that always the thing, like with online stuff, where you plan to do something and then you get distracted? by randomly Googling. I love it. Like, I just wanted to send a simple message to somebody, and then I got distracted. Have you ever read, like, a Western fantasy? And I don't mean, like, Western, like, J.R. Tolkien. I mean, like, Wild West fantasy. Because I've always thought that would be, like, such a cool genre to write in, but it's, like, I don't know if people do that now. I know there's been a few that have come out, but I'd be curious to, yeah. Because, don't, like, Rand, oh, right. I was reading the TV tropes to the movie Secretary a few hours ago. I totally forgot about that. Partly because I was just surprised that it had such a similar plot to 50 Shades of Grey, and I was like, and I was wondering what, and even the main character's last name is Grey. I'm like, that's interesting. The plot seems really similar, and the last character's name is the same. Anyways, what was I saying? I don't know. It's been an idea I thought for years would be like a good fit, because journeying around. I do too, but I'm of the suspicion, and I'm just gonna say this, and listen to me, E.L. James, you're very rich and very successful, so you don't need to come after me on this. I'm just gonna say it straight up. I think she ripped off that. I think she ripped off that movie. Because when I heard the plot, I'm like, this is like the exact same. This is almost the exact same plot. The character's name is even, I think, like Jack Gray or something. I'm calling it out. I think it's. Not that it really matters, but it's just like, not that, like, plagiarism is very hard to prove. And, like, nobody really owns, like, you can't own the idea, but it's like, I'm suspicious, James. I'm suspicious. I think you watched that movie and then wondered if Twilight characters could be in it. And I think that's how that plot started. Because if you don't know, 50 Shades of Grey was famous. Like, okay, a brief sidebar into this whole subject, and I'm gonna go on record and say something. The fact that 50 Shades of Grey started out as a Twilight fan fiction is the least objectionable thing in my mind of that story. There has been many great stories that have There's been many great books and stories that have started out as fan fiction of another thing, and then the author changed it enough to be its own thing, and I don't think that's bad. On record, as long as you change it enough to be its own thing, then it's no worse than being inspired by a book. Oh, 100%. I agree 100%. There's definitely a level of sleaze that, there's a level of sleaziness that like can't like be allowed. Like I just think of like so I think of like how like so many like a lot of fantasy work or like sci-fi shows are inspired by like sci-fi stuff is like a lot of fantasy is inspired by J.R.R. Tolkien in like Lord of the Rings, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Would it be bad, say though, if you like had a book, like it'd be pretty hard to like have a fantasy book where there's a group of characters that unite and go on a long journey to defeat a magical enemy. But like you can't have like um, you can't have like straight copy like have you can't have like Orpho and Slag Sigala going on adventures. And I will say this. This rule only really applies to like massively huge franchises that are at no risk of ever being hurt. Let me make an addendum to this. This rule only applies to like big like stories. I want to add to this. This rule only kind of applies to big stories. Like if you kind of make a little like a rip off of like Star Trek or something, or Star Wars, like Star Trek and Star Wars can do fine. You're no risk of hurting them. But if you like rip off like a lesser known author, like somebody lower on the totem pole, like who has maybe a small dedicated fan base in like the self publishing world, that's a shitty move. Yeah. But people get really mad when they find like stories inspired by like the most famous stories of all time, and I'm like, I don't care about that. But it's different when you're directly competing and you kind of rip off somebody. But I've seen people get like abuse thrown at them for like the crime of having their book be somewhat like Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, come on. There's levels to there's gray areas to all this stuff. But it's like when you're kind of shitty if you kind of rip off a book and who you're trying from people that are like trying, like smaller authors. But that's what I meant by my little rant there, because I've seen people get really mad at like people who like write like stuff that's really inspired like by say like Star Trek or Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, M. Solos. Yeah, exactly. And you're gonna especially when you're starting out, you're gonna resemble like people like you're like people you're fans of. Like it's impossible because you write what you think good writing is, so you'll write the way other people write. You'll write the way you think good writing sounds, so you'll write the way you like. Because like anytime I get my stuff noted, the first thing anybody will ever say to me is, boy, this reads a lot like Douglas Adams. And I'm like, yeah, of course it does. And here's the thing. Please, Douglas Adams, don't sue me. I know you're dead, but I don't want to get sued. It is, but I mean, the one review I got really reading me for. Oh my god, there's this one. So I once had a web serial that I put out, and I got this one just awful review. This guy had a huge vendetta against this. This guy was furious at me for some reason, and I know everybody at bad reviews. The guy is furious, but the guy was legitimate. Seemed I have never I didn't realize I could inspire like that level of vitriol, you know, and it was actually like kind of terrifying. It really hurt, and the guy says, and it's a shitty Douglas Adams style humor, and I'm like, so that always really put me in a bad, like I've always like never that was really heartbreaking to read. So, I didn't write for like 3 years after that. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, that was the lesson I eventually learned, but oh my god, it was... I'm going to tell you truthfully. I'm going to say this truthfully. When I got the review, I broke down and cried. And it was so heartbreaking to read because I never thought I would receive that level of anger in my life. Like people are allowed to criticize, people are allowed to not like a thing, but I never once thought I would receive that level of anger and hostility towards me. Yeah. Yes. No. He's well liked in the community. It's so complicated. He had a personal. The truth was he had a personal vendetta against another writer, and the other writer gave me a decent review, so he got decent review. So he got mad that he gave me a decent review. So he went in there angry and wanting to tear it to shreds, and that's the real reason. Like, I'm not precious. I understand. I'm not precious, and I understand like things are going to get bad reviews and people are entitled to their opinions and I can't control that. But I'm going to be honest, dude. If you're ever watching this, it was incredibly shitty to do what you did. You went in there with anger. You directly referenced that other review several times. And this is the worst. I actually messaged him and I was like, dude, what the fuck was with that review? Like, why the hell were you so angry? And then he brought up that other guy again. So, whatever. So, that was a shitty thing to do, man. Yeah, no. I mean, the writing wasn't the best, and I probably could have made use of an editor for that, but I hope to never inspire that level of anger again in somebody. Like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And again, I'm not like, anyways. I don't like when like some people like really get mad at certain people for like writing bad reviews of them. And I get it was maybe I probably shouldn't have emailed that dude. It was the first bad review I ever got. I was real hurt. And I didn't intimidate him or anything. I just his email was public and his email was public, so I sent him a message. You know, he had it just on his website, and he responded back to me, and I'm like, you know, it was mean. It was just it was a mean review. I would never do that again. But anyway, sorry, I'm relitigating an old thing that happened in my life. So are you working on your same book right now, or are you editing it? Are you going to do Camp Nana now? Are you going to do Camp NaNoWriMo? That I believe is coming up soon, or may have started. Has Camp NaNoWriMo started? Yeah, I know that now. That's, you know, but that lesson, you know, that lesson has to come in. Camp nowhere. Are you going to try and get it traditionally published, or are you going to publish it through Amazon? Oh, I draw as well. I'm an artist as well. I mean, you're probably a better artist, but I do a lot of art on this channel as well. Do you want to share some? Let's see if I have a good. That's a good way to go. I mean, publishing traditionally has a lot of. Do you want to share some of your art? Yeah, sure. Let me just find a good one. Let me just find some good. I won't show you all the bad ones I did, just the one or two good ones. I have some decent in here, I'm pretty sure. It's not the worst. I did this. Oh, I have some pictures of some stuff. One second. Sorry, wrong one. I also did these two a little while ago. This one, I don't know. I think I can honestly do better now. Thank you. The funny thing is, I did those a couple of months ago, and I'm like, and I'm already noticing this. Like, I'm pretty sure I could do better than these now, and I was pretty proud of these when I did it. I'm like, I don't, you know, the face feels a little off. I feel like I could do better, even better now. I know that's a braggy thing, but I'm pretty sure I'm better now. Do you want to share some? You don't have to, by the way. You don't have to. But if you want to, I'd love to see some. I still want to see it. Oh, okay. Then you don't have to share. But I will say this: if you ever want me to draw one of them, I have that in the request bar. I have that in the rewards bar. Callie, good to see you, my friend. I forget how much it is, but it's reasonable. Probably. It's miscellaneous. It was miscellaneous or something. That was my first instinct. I was like, okay, it's missile something. How's it going, my friend? That's a good one. Oh, it's only a thousand. It's only 1,000 points. Yeah, you can earn that pretty quickly. Get out of the miscellane, you. Miscellane. That is a pretty name. Callie's a poet. Missile. If you don't know it. Callie, my friend, how are you doing? You can dance? Wait, Callie. The man, no friends of mine. For people watching this later on YouTube, the 2 or 3 that do, know that I just played the safety dance. The song "The Safety Dance," and I've probably had to cut it out. So, true story about the safety dance. The safety dance is about mosh pits. It's about moshing, is what it's about. So it's, we can dance if we want to. We can leave your friends behind. Miscellaneous, it was lovely to meet you. don't be. I hope to get to talk to you again. I hope you come by again so that we can chat some more. We can dance if we want to. We can leave your friends behind. So, Callie. So, Callie. You too. Callie, my good friend Callie. How are things? Oh, I see another friend in the chat. I see another friend in the chat. Who I suspect is just lurking, but I'm very curious if she has watched a particular television show. I'm very curious if she has watched started watching a particular television show yet. I'm excited. Oh boy. Sorry, it's a very good show. I did a little review of it on YouTube, and somebody told me today that they started watching it because of my recommendation. So that made me happy. I don't want to spoil anything, but I need to get my mouth shut because there's the show has some lost, like, there is some element, like, in a good way where it's like, where like an episode happens and just like, what? I want to talk about this episode. Anyways, I'll be quiet. No, it's okay. Yeah. I will say this: if you heard me talking earlier about an idea I have for like a book um, and or possibly at least a D&D game, it's definitely inspired by me trying to go like Severance is awesome. I want to like see if I can apply that to like I want to write something like that. Okay, I'll be quiet.
Mm.
Noah Roman. That's cool, man. William Gibbs. Ahmed Nicholson. That's a great name. These are all good names. forget how long the first episode is. Be back. Be back in a minute, everybody. I have to go to the restroom. Boop. And we're back. Who's still here? Is anybody still here? Anybody's still here? Has everybody moved on? Honestly, I'm getting pretty tired, guys. I hate to do this after taking a long break. But let's call it here. Okay, everybody have a good time.